Hello, everybody. I'm here with Kevin Hahn. Kevin, what is your title here?
I am the current president of the local astronomy club, the Bernard Astronomical Society, and also a volunteer here at the Clarence T. Jones Observatory.
So you're the guy to go to for all space stuff, huh?
One of them.
One of them, right. Okay, well, let's talk about the Chandra X-Ray. It's been 25 years since they launched it up there. What has it done? What is the X-ray do differently than other telescopes up there in orbit?
Okay, so most people are familiar with the Hubble telescope.
Of course,
that's been around.
Yeah,
since even before this one, and it registers light like any telescope that you're normally thinking of. It's on electromagnetic, basically wave at visible light spectrum.
Right.
Light as is at different wavelengths, and we only see the tiniest bit with our eyes, and that's where the Hubble telescope comes in. We can see those, or if you take your telescope outside in your backyard, and
yeah, exactly.
So Chandra, on the other hand, is X-ray, which are really, really small little wavelengths that are way beyond anything we can see.
Right.
Even the Earth's atmosphere actually absorbs the X-rays.
X-ray.
So that's why this thing's why it's space.
Shove it into space. That's exactly where to go.
So with it really focuses on really hot objects or phenomenon, especially things like supernova.
Really?
Black holes.
Really?
Where there's lots of energy, where there's a lot of these, little photons that are real high, that are able to be captured by this. So it's measuring something completely different. There is the Crab Nebula.
Right.
And back about 1,000 years ago, Chinese astronomers noticed this big bright light in the sky. It lasted several days, and then it went away. It's registered. So we now know that was a supernova that happened back in the day.
Really?
And so the Hubble telescope, one of the first things it went and looked at was this supernova remnant. So the gas clouds, and there's actually a pulsar. We know there's a little star in the center. It's a remnant of that supernova. But with Chandra, it came in and it just really added to what those other telescopes were able to see with relation to that pulsar. We actually see jets streaming out from it, and all sorts of other components to it that we couldn't see in the infrared or the visible light. And it's another component to supplement the other telescopes.
Well, so that means that we get to see things that we couldn't normally see with all the other stuff that we've got floating in orbit. So we really need this one. Thank you so much, Kevin,
you're very welcome,
for all that information. I didn't actually know we even had an observatory here in Chattanooga, and a lot of other people I talked to didn't either. And we were actually luckily able to see that. Now, when it comes to what we're talking about with Chandra, that I wanted to visit up and talk to somebody who was a professional expert about astronomy, because I love science. I know you love science and you like astronomy too, but we are not experts in that. So I wanted to talk to somebody, and he was the president of the Bernard Astronomical Society here in Chattanooga. I had no idea we even had that, and I didn't even know we had this observatory there. So we looked at the telescope, we looked at the planetarium. It was very interesting. But Chandra is a X-ray telescope that's in orbit that had its 25th anniversary, which is why I wanted to talk about it in the first place last month in July. So I'm older than it, and I'm pretty sure that we're both older than it. I don't know about you, Hannah, but and it's given us all these pictures, all these images are from the Chandra X-ray. So it's been increased with the Hubble telescope, which is visual light, which we can see with our eyes, the James Webb, which is infrared, and then of course we've got X-ray. So there's so many telescopes up there that are showing us all kinds of wacky stuff. There's Hubble. That one's the Hubble telescope right there. We all know that one.
Well, I feel like that's the one that everyone knows. And of course, recently also, as you mentioned, the James Webb telescope, which is even taking that a step farther. It's, as you mentioned, really cool to kind of bring them together to examine pieces that, each one may not be able to pick up on its own. But together, you get that clearer picture. This looks like a work of art. I mean, it doesn't even look real, but it is.
That really is what our universe is, and our planet in general. It's just all a work of art. And when it comes to the telescopes and everything, you have to overlay them because everything's about radiation when it comes to space. We're talking sun, solar radiation. That's what's causing all the auroras lately.
You knew.
He's like, oh.
I'm going to leave the space talk to you, Ryan.
Was that one of the questions you wanted to ask?
No.
Well, yeah, so the solar flares coming off the sun and all the auroras that we've been seeing lately have all been because it's scattered by the Earth's magnetic field. And we're the only planet in the solar system that has one, which is why we're able to live on this planet, because everybody else would just be bombarded with those solar flares. So those beautiful things that we see are just here on Earth, happening all over the universe and all throughout the galaxy, which luckily our telescopes are able to grab.
Ryan, this is great. Thanks for breaking that down. And of course, I'm sure you'll have a lot more science stories for us to come.
For sure.